Hi, this is Chloe from Inner Whispers, here to unbox the New Century Tarot, published by US Games and created by Rolf Eichelmann. Let's take a look inside. It comes with a very small little white book, Major Arcana described briefly. The card meaning itself is extremely short, the rest is a description of the card, which I guess you'll be able to see anyhow. And then similarly for the minors. And that's all she wrote, as they say. Let's take a look at the cards. So here we have the deck, a title card, a little description. The New Century Tarot deck explores a unique tarot journey that began with the artist more than 10 years ago, sketching all of the decks in the Canary Islands. And the cards themselves, starting with the Magician, High Priestess. The colours here are very bright. The background also is the same between them, and there's a lot of vibrant colour here. Same background still for the Empress and Emperor, and a real commonality of colours. There's a lot of this red and indigo amongst all of them. The images themselves are quite playful, colourful. I find them rather charming. While there's a cartoonish element, they're also clearly very well drawn. An interesting death, red and chopping people up by the river. Sudden coolness here with Temperance. Still the same background throughout the majors so far. So it's a real cartoony feel to it, and yet there's a great deal of, I'm not sure, warmth, movement somehow. The cards are easy enough to read. I find it curious that the majors all have the same background. Not quite sure what to make of that yet. Moving on to Courts of the Swords. So each suit, it would seem, has a similar background. There are variations, like here, the night, the clouds are a lot darker than in the page. These tread the line between sort of being pip cards and being illustrated. They have people and a landscape, yet the landscape is always the same. The people are a small montage, and the shapes that the suit elements form is a pip type design, useful and yet simple. I'm rather enjoying this, and I always do love the Eight of Swords. That's a very nice one. Interesting that there are two people bound here rather than just the one. Oh. Mummified almost. So yes, some very interesting cards. In the Suit of Cups, it's a much redder, warmer background. There's a great similarity really in the colour palette across all of the cards so far. A lot of red, a lot of blue. But there's certainly enough difference and enough depth to the imagery. It's a very interesting way that they've balanced the simplicity of the images while still having a full scene included, so to speak. A mother gathering up a child. I'm really enjoying the look of these. I hadn't seen more than just a couple of images before I bought the deck, and it's a choice that I'm not regretting in the slightest as we go through these cards for this unboxing. There's plenty to go with the cork cards. The fact of the commonality of colours across the whole deck, it makes the deck feel more cohesive, but it does mean that you can do less interpretation through colour analysis, shall we say. But still, I think there's plenty going on within the cards, that combination of both pip element and illustrated element, so that the colour isn't important. And it's interesting because there is that clear differentiation between the majors and the minors, and then within the minors, like here, the pentacles all have this yellowish mustardy colour beneath the sky, whereas the cups had a reddish colour and the swords, I think, had a bluish colour there, if I remember right. So these are really working for me. It reminds me a bit of the Stella Tarot, if anyone has that one. Not quite sure why. And the wands, interestingly, have a blue bit of background beneath the cloudy sky. So cups red and wands blue. But it's a warm blue, sky blue, energetic as though the sun were shining down. I rather like it. And with red as a frame for the pip part, so to speak. This is fun. Two of wands holding snakes, kind of a sense of snake charmer, but also holding different options, and you've got to choose something before they both bite you. Very directed three of wands, focused with a bow. Here we see that, interestingly, the bottom part of the landscape is different. They're sitting on a shore looking out to sea. Here it's a garden growing as they move very much in tandem rather than being at odds. I love the dragon here. Fighting off tigers rather than just other people. Interesting twist to it. Love the birds for the Eight of Wands. So yes, I can see this being a deck that I will get on with very well, thank you very much. The little white book is exactly that, a very little white book, but the deck is very interesting, very beautiful. Hope you found this unboxing useful. Blessed be.